Oh, very excited to welcome our final guest of today's show. She's more than just an actress, really. She's a singer. She's a philanthropist. She's a humanitarian. I would say she's an educator and an activist. She's a lady. She's I don't know what your citizenship would be. Obviously, India.
Global.
Now, come on. Your technical.
The world is mine.
Can you reveal how many countries you are a citizen of?
Just one, which is India, but I work and live out of America at the moment, yes.
Well, nice to meet you. Thank you very much for joining us, Priyanka.
You?
I am good. Thanks for knowing my name. Sometimes people don't know your name. They never learn it.
That's so rude.
I think so.
I think it's rude. You know my name, I should know yours.
Well, is how I was raised.
That's how the world should work.
She's an actress, recording artist. She's a former Miss World 2000, humanitarian, a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, stars in the ABC show Quantico, and also a new film that we have to talk about as well. And I'm really excited that you're joining us. Wait, here it is. It's called A Kid Like Jake. Hits theaters June 1st. So much to talk about with Priyanka Chopra, who's on Twitter at Priyanka Chopra. You like the Twitter? You do. I see you tweeting.
I do. I love Twitter. I love Instagram. I love social in general because I feel like it's the direct way of reaching out to people who actually want to know about you.
Sounds
and
just like,
the ones who don't.
Sounds just like Trump. I like to communicate directly to the people. You guys share that view of
Oh my God.
Twitter.
I would have never thought I would say that sentence out loud, but I guess we do share something.
Yeah, well, it's true. It's, by the way, true of Twitter. Everybody knows that. He usually states the obvious and then lies about it. So, we don't have a lot of actors and actresses on the program because I'm a little jaded. I'm a little cynical about it because often how much can you talk about a film or a TV show? We just show it, watch it, play it, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to promote that. Sometimes they're just not that interesting. A lot of I'm being a judgmental prick now. A lot of I'm a comedian, so I write and perform and
it comes naturally to you.
Right, exactly. All I've got is judgment. I'm not proud of it, but I've made a living.
Thing.
Yeah, it's not something I'm trying to raise my daughters with. I'm trying to not role model that. But the point being, you however, have your Wikipedia is like the longest Wikipedia. I couldn't even get through it. You have so many elements of your life and your career. I'm not sure where to start, but why don't we just start with the things certainly that you're promoting, which is on ABC's Quantico. I was excited. I love national security stuff, drama stuff. I love this stuff. Tell people who don't know about this show, Quantico, and your role.
Quantico is a TV show on ABC, and if you haven't seen season 1 and 2, it doesn't matter. We're on season 3.
Wait, it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter because we had a whole restart to the show this year.
Okay.
I mean, you can watch 1 and 2. I love doing them. They're great seasons. But this year, there's a huge restart to the show. We're 3 years later. It starts in Tuscany, Italy, which was amazing.
Did you shoot there?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know.
Oh, how difficult is your life?
I have such a hard job.
Where's the balance it out? Where's the worst place you shot? Like worst weather or situation? Can you think of that, or is that gonna? Do you have to be careful?
No, I don't. It's not worse. It's not the place that was worst. Yeah. I am from the tropics, right? I lived in India, so when I shot in Montreal for season 1, it was like cold. Minus 46 degrees.
Yeah.
And I had to be a tough FBI agent, who jogs in the snow. Who does that? It doesn't even snow that much in Virginia.
There goes your entire Canadian fan base. That was a gotcha question, and you lost, Priyanka.
I didn't lose.
No, you set it up pretty well. You're like, I grew up in India.
I used to tell that to my Montreal crew all the time. I was like, s'il vous plaît, please, can we have some heaters?
And you won them back by speaking a little French to them. Well played.
Oui, merci.
So you shoot in Tuscany this season, Quantico. It takes place in Italy. You can't give anything away, I guess.
Well, there's not much to give away anyway. It's a new Black Ops team that has been brought together. There's a lot of new big surprises for the fans who've watched the show before coming up in this season premiere. We're on Thursday nights at 10 o'clock. The slot vacated by Scandals. I'm trying to fill in Olivia Pope's shoes. Those are big shoes
that's
to
tough.
fill.
That's intimidating.
Yeah, but no, I mean it's a really wonderful show because it's extremely global, super topical. It takes you around the world. The show is already in 60 plus countries around the world, so every episode has a button at the end of it and deals with a different country that America has political relations with.
So, what has been your experience with national security experts, American FBI agents? Do they like your portrayal of this character?
Yeah, especially at the airports.
You
have a
always, you know
great
what?
time.
Always people. Why do people talk to you at the airport more likely than anywhere else? They
Well,
stop
first
you.
of all, it's the most annoying to be spoken to at the airport because you're tired, you're
Yeah,
cranky, you're annoying.
You're at your
but,
worst.
But being an actor, I have to be like relatively decent looking, in a pleasant demeanor, no matter where you are. Always.
You don't slum it in the airport. You don't go
kinda
sweats,
don't.
no makeup,
Sometimes.
hair, whatever, baseball
Sometimes.
cap, glasses.
But I don't do baseball cap and glasses because I
you're-
hate glasses at night. But I do heels with my sweats.
You do? That's
I think they're so
hilarious.
chic.
Priyanka, answer this question. You're a celebrity of a caliber that can answer this question. Some of the people that come in, they can't. You have a separate entrance at the airport. What do? You don't stand in line. There's no way. No one will ever answer this. Where you don't stand in line. You don't. I once flew first class. I didn't stand in line. You skip everything. Your plane leaves earlier. Where are you? Where are you coming in and waiting? Tell America.
It is true. I do have a separate
You have a
entrance.
celebrity entrance.
No, but you're right. Not everybody does. There is a special service that you can pay for and get. That's what I tell everyone.
All right.
When I like,
So I can have that.
you can have it. You just have
I'm
it's
so
just going to
bothered.
be heavy on your wallet, but you can have it.
Wallet. So this is so what do they say? What are these national security experts that you?
Oh my God! Like
the
just
people
this
who
time,
you play. What do they
I
tell
flew
you?
in last night because
Yeah.
I had gone to India for 2 days to shoot a commercial. Go figure.
You just
But
flew in from India.
last night at midnight. I just landed.
Oh, wow.
And I remember the immigration officer was like, "You're Quantico," and I was like, "Well, yeah, sure, I'll take it. I am Quantico." Yeah. He's like, "Oh, I love that show," and then he was like, "Why do you want to do it? Why do you ever want to do law enforcement?" And I was like, "Well, I like to pretend to be you guys."
Yeah.
I was out in 10 minutes.
Oh, see, very well played. Very well played. Yeah, you use it to your advantage. You get out of a jam.
No, but people like cops and stuff, especially when they meet me, they get really excited and they like have inputs and they're like, "Oh, when you hold a gun, it's really cool, and when you do this," or so I found it. My favorite part about being an FBI agent is kicking down the door and saying FBI really loud. Like that's fun. Do it
Do
with
you-
me. Do it with me. Pete.
Okay.
Okay. Let's
So
do it.
we're at the door,
We're at the door.
and we have
We
to
just
kick
to
it
go,
down.
FBI. 1, 2, 3. Pow! FBI.
No, no.
Come on.
Ow, my knee! The door did not open. There's no way,
That does
Priyanka.
not happen in TV world.
Yeah, I know,
It
but in
opens the
real
first
world,
kick.
oh,
They
I've tried.
knee the door also? Like, they knee the door? Your
Right.
knee hurts?
Yeah,
No,
why would
I-
you knee the hurt? Why would you knee the door?
Because I hit the door just now.
Oh, and it didn't open,
with
so
such
it, like-
force that I felt in my knee, and I blew my knee out.
Well,
and
see,
you-
the good thing is I'm an FBI agent on TV, and that stuff doesn't happen to me. I'm sort of invincible.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
started believing that that'll happen in real life too. Now, if I pretend.
have you ever actually knocked down a door?
No.
No, right.
I don't think I want to try.
All right, here's my most thoughtful, most interesting question for
Yes,
Priyanka
ask me the
Chopra
most
today.
profound question.
In India, you are one of the most famous people in the country, one of the most populated countries of the world. But
1.7 billion at the moment. Yes.
but in America, you are now really famous in America, of course, too. But in America, you're a minority. And I wonder, and one of the things I read about you is that it said, at least, it attributed that you're the first, South Asian woman to headline, to be the star of a primetime drama. This is Quantico. What's it like being a minority, even though, yeah, you're famous, so you probably get some pretty good treatment, like we talked about the airport and so on. But in your homeland, you're famous and you kind of look like everybody else. Obviously, we know a little bit about India and the different ethnicities, language, religion, etc. A lot of diversity there. But in America, a minority. What's the difference being here versus living there? Is that even a good question?
No, I'm so glad you asked that
Okay,
question, Pete, because it's so important. Like the demographic of South Asians around the world is 1/5 of the world's population, first of all.
Right.
So by
Huge.
sheer population, and we should have representation in global entertainment, and American entertainment is global entertainment right now, right? And has been. So there is no representation of the minorities, or especially women of color, as much as there should be, considering we're in 2018. And in 2016, in 2016, was the first South Asian woman to ever be on a network drama. Before me, Kerry Washington was the first African American woman to be on a network drama as a lead. And that was like 2014. So yeah, I think it's late, but it's better than never.
Right.
There is progress being made. I think if you look around the world, in America itself, it's a melting pot of cultures of people all over the world. Diversity and representation of that matters. So I hope with what's happening with me, I can kick down the door for other people.
In this
who
case,
are
it's a metaphor.
minorities.
But what do you hear from brown skinned Americans? Are they so excited about your success that that you're representing on a show like this? I mean, is there that reaction like "thank you so much" kind of thing? That must be pretty rewarding.
I do get that a lot, and it's so
many. I should say so many of the stereotypes about this whole debate in America about the Simpsons, the Apu character, and
the bane of my
ones,
life that was
why
growing up. I went to high school in America, and
right.
the only one that looked like me on TV or on movies was Apu. And
he's not even the same gender.
Everybody doesn't even speak like that.
Right.
We don't speak like that. Everyone
hold
doesn't
on.
speak like that.
I want to push back on that.
Please
when
do.
I do a British accent, everybody's fine with it. If I do a French accent, which I can't do any of these accents, but they're fine. If I do an Indian accent, if I do that accent, I'm in trouble, or an Asian accent,
No,
I'm
you're
in
not.
What's the difference?
I don't think you're in trouble. I think that there isn't a stereotype because there are so many different kinds of accents in India. Like the way I speak to you right now is also a modern Indian accent. But the choice of an Indian accent always tends to be like that.
But what
so
if
that's
I did
what's
it
offensive.
and said really positive things?
Yeah,
Still
it's
wrong?
putting me in
Should
a box.
we try? No, but I mean, it just feels like I'm going to do a Southern American accent.
Yeah, but because that's really niche. It's like everyone, like even British, for example, there are so many different kinds. There's Cockney British, which is a little bit more like that.
Right.
And then there's like London British. But in India, because of so many religions and regions and types of people, there's a lot of varied accents. And when that gets stereotyped, that's when it's annoying.
She is the star of ABC's Quantico. It airs Thursdays at 10, 9 Central. You're also in a new film. It's called A Kid Like Jake. That hits theaters June 1st. Tell us about that. Why do you agree to do things? You must have because you're not in this. Well, listen. Let's be honest. You don't audition. You're not. You're.
No,
you're
of course
at a point,
I audition. I audition.
Stop it.
Yes,
When's the
I
last time
do.
you auditioned?
Quantico.
All right, that's the last time you auditioned
Yes.
for a film. I mean,
not yet, but I will.
all
I'm
right.
sure.
I apologize. But
Going forward, I'm sure I will.
I just feel like you're a person who kind of chooses the projects that you want to work on because
I
that's
mean,
where you're at now. They're sending you scripts.
I
Come on,
do
you're
get
Priyanka
scripts that
Chopra.
come to me, but
Do we have to tell her who she is?
But the films that I want, I definitely have to audition for, and I don't
Okay.
mind at all.
Okay,
doing
good.
It. I think it. As an actor, first of all, it puts you in a place where you have to question yourself again, and that's a really cool feeling because it
I think it's a
re-inspires
terrible
you.
sounding feeling.
No, it's scary, but
Yeah.
it reinforces the fact that, all right, I still know what I'm doing. I can go in there in a sterile environment and still audition. And that's fine. I'm fine doing it. But, like, let me tell you about Kid Like Jake.
Yeah, please.
So I have a cameo in the movie, but it's a film that I'm so excited about. It comes out June 1st. It has Claire Danes, Jim Parsons in the lead, and it has Octavia Spencer, Ann Dowd, me lending our support. And it's an amazing movie based on a play by Daniel Pearl about a gender fluid child at the age of 4 and how he loves Cinderella and Rapunzel and not Lego and cars, and how the adults in his life sort of react to that, whereas he has no idea. So it's a really poignant movie which gives you so many different perspectives, because honestly, there's a lot of people that don't understand gender. Like, we don't understand the conversation around gender, and we're afraid to ask the question. This movie was directed by our director is a proud trans man, and he taught me so much about
Silas
and that's
Howard.
what this Silas Howard, and that sort of, really opened my eyes to things. And that's what this movie's going to do. It's going to give people perspectives and sort of an understanding.
Yeah, because what did you not know? I just did a segment on the future of, our genderless society. And I think I'm the most progressive person in the world, but it challenged me a lot.
Well, I don't know the
about,
right terms. Like, I
Right.
didn't know what the right term would
Sure.
be.
Yeah, most of us don't.
What would it mean? What? See, we're always trying to put people in boxes, right? Eventually.
Yeah, so we
And-
can judge them.
Yeah, so that your job's easier.
yeah.
And you have fodder.
Yeah,
But
I'm a monster.
No, but no, you're just a comedian. I'm not a monster.
Well, because of but that's actually why. I mean, I hopefully that's
no,
what
you
you're
have
picking
one of
up
the
on.
hardest jobs in the world. It's so hard to make people laugh. It's
people
so much
say
easier to
that.
make them laugh at you.
It's a weird compliment because the truth is, you're healthy and don't need that, and we're unhealthy and need that. It's a weird thing. It's like, oh, I'm so brave. No, I need complete strangers' approval every night. But the thing about that is you're always looking at the audience and judging what they want based on what
You're
they
a
look
performer,
like.
and that's what we do too.
Right.
When you're doing TV as entertainers, that's what we do, and that's your medium. But it's the hardest medium. I've always found comedy the hardest genre to ever do because it's so easy. The line is so thin when people start
Right.
laughing at you and not with you. So if you've been, that's a huge win
Yeah.
if you can do it. I mean, I've always admired comedians tremendously.
Thank you so much for that high compliment. But when we talk about gender, there is, you're talking about in this film. This is kind of a new frontier that gender issues in terms of allowing children to choose and to identify. That's so fascinating. But you've been a strong advocate for women and girls for your entire career, and I've been trying to my entire career, and we're still really far from where we want to be in terms of having an equitable culture. Your home country, India, has a horrific record on some gender issues. Our country, America, certainly does as well. You go to a country like Norway, which I'm not sure if you've ever worked there, but apparently there's like real equality, gender equality there. What do you... with your work with UNICEF or any of the other charitable organizations, what's your message about this issue? You're not afraid to talk about
Oh, no,
about
not
this
at
or
all. In
anything
fact,
else.
I'm a very, very proud feminist.
Right.
And I feel like, okay, so logically, for eons, women have always been told we're second-class citizens, right? People have always decided for women what their choices should be. Like, women should be at home and take care of kids, or women should do this, or you should wear this, or you should speak like
men
this.
have always decided.
Well, exactly, because
Usually.
we've lived in patriarchal societies.
Right.
Even though our families, so many times when we talk about family values, are, matriarchal, but we, as a society, live patriarchally. So I think that the conversation now, finally, women have reached a point where we're not willing to settle, and we feel like as 50% of the world's population, we're holding the evolution of humanity back if you're not giving a girl her right to choose her own future, her right to decide what her choices are, what she wants to do. And that's all feminism is giving us the freedom to make our decisions without being judged for it.
Yeah. I mean, you nailed
as a
it.
human being is fine. I'm saying give the idea is opportunity. There's such a lack of opportunity for women around the world. Without opportunity, you have pay disparity, you have all of these issues that we talk about feminism, because when you have like 4 jobs and 25 women clamoring for it, it's really easy for them to ask them to settle.
And the only thing I would add to that is that opportunity comes best in an opportunity for education.
Absolutely.
I'm very fond of this quote. I forget who says it, probably many people. If you want to end poverty in the world, educate women and girls.
Absolutely, because you educate a family.
But we do the opposite of that in many cultures and societies. We make
do.
sure that women don't even get to read.
We don't even give them that choice because we feel like they're going to get married and go away. And what's the point of investing in a girl's future? We don't realize that when you invest in a girl's future, you're not only educating her family, but giving her the ability to be financially independent.
And what do you think about here now, having grown up and lived in India and now living and working in the U.S., about where we're at?
I think the
on this issue, women and girls. We've elected this maniac who seems to hate women and be terrified of them, has no courage, and is really bad for women, both in his rhetoric, the way he role models, and of course the policies, in my opinion, obviously. So how do you react to that?
I feel as like it is a very testing time, but at the same time, it's a very, very interesting time to be a woman of the world today, because suddenly you see women having voices and people standing up to support the women with voices. We've always had so many times when women have called out powerful men or issues that they're dealing with. They've never found the kind of support that women have right now. So the voices are louder. The conversation is louder. And I'm hoping because of that change will eventually come. We can't focus on the negatives of today. We have to, as society, focus on the positives of tomorrow and work towards that for the next generation.
I have to make a sad assumption, one might call it a judgment, that given how long you've been in this business and how physically beautiful you are, that many men have done and said things. As far as the Me Too movement, the Time's Up movement, you being an actress, we've heard from so many actresses, obviously, as it relates to We Shall Not Say His Name and others. What's been your experience? How have you dealt with it? How have older mentors of yours given you guidance, and what do you tell the younger women in the business?
What I always tell younger girls,
or in any business,
what I always tell young girls going into a new job opportunity is there will, because again, powerful men have always had the power to take advantage, and that doesn't just mean sexually. It can mean their confidence, it can mean their job security, it can mean in any form. Power has always been abused somehow, and I always tell young girls going into any form of business, do not think where you're going is the do-all and the end-all of your life. If something is not working out, you can say, peace, I'm out, and find something else. That's the beauty of the world we live in right now, one. Second of all, when you're afraid and someone's tormented you in whatever way, girls are so scared to say anything. I always tell them, find someone who'll be your support. Find a friend, find a parent. Don't do it alone if you're scared.
It's so funny you're saying that today. Yesterday, my daughter finally told on this kid in school, had been being really mean. And she didn't want to. She's like, he's got troubles at home, whatever.
Right.
So she brings her friend with her who'd experienced him to the teacher and did just what you just suggested.
Because it gives girls such a sense of power and support.
Right.
We can do it alone, but we've just not been given the ammunition to do it alone all these years. So now, there's nothing wrong in asking for help. Don't be alone. Don't deal with your troubles alone. Don't take dire, decisions about your life. I've seen so many young girls and boys, who take decisions on their lives based on being tormented on like social media, for example.
Yeah.
Even that for that matter. But,
New age bullying, yeah.
Yeah, but you're not alone is what I always tell someone.
Were you bullied?
I was in school. I was really...
What did they say about a little Priyanka Chopra?
I was called Brownie in school. I was told to go back on the elephant. I came on.
But wait, what school was that?
This was in Boston.
Right.
I went to high school in America.
So in high school, you were taunted with racist.
Oh, do you smell some curry? I smelled some curry in the hall, like stuff like that. Yeah, it was awful.
How did you deal with that?
I told my counselor. I was very upset, and then I went back to India.
Priyanka
I was
Chopra.
like, peace.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We got to find those kids today, right?
I
Do you
tried
think
to
about
Google
them?
her, but I can't find her.
Oh, you know her full name.
Well, I'm not going to put out your full name.
No,
Her
go ahead.
first
We're off
name
the air
is Janine.
now.
Oh.
No, we aren't. Janine. Janine. Look at Priyanka Chopra. It's got to be weird for her to watch Quantico and the new movie as well. A kid like Jake. Janine, how did things work out for you? Probably loves curry now. Everything is...
Has a favorite Indian restaurant.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. Come back whenever you're in town. Really fascinating getting to talk to you and rooting for your career.
Thank you so much, Pete. It was lovely.
Priyanka Chopra, everybody.